Men who have wielded the greatest power in ensuring their stranglehold over the U.S. monetary system. Louis T. McFadden, a relentless congressman who often took on the Federal Reserve Banks as chairman of the House Banking Committee back in the 1930s, consistently explained that monetary issues shouldn't be partisan. He criticized both the Herbert Hoover and Franklin Roosevelt administrations. In describing the Federal Reserve, he remarked in the 1932 Congressional Record that
we have in this country one of the most corrupt institutions the world has ever known. I refer to the Federal Reserve Board and the Federal Reserve Banks. The Federal Reserve Board, a government board, has cheated the government of the United States and the people of the United States out of enough money to pay the national debt. The depredations and the inequities of the Federal Reserve Board and the Federal Reserve Banks acting together have cost this country enough money to pay the national debt several times over. This evil institution has impoverished and ruined the people of the United States, has bankrupted itself, and has practically bankrupted our government. It has done this through the maladministration of that law by which the Federal Reserve Board and through the corrupt practices of the money vultures who control it.
Congressman McFadden additionally stated,
some people think the Federal Reserve Banks are United States government institutions. They are not government institutions. They are private credit monopolies which prey upon the people of the United States for the benefit of themselves and their foreign customers. Foreign and domestic speculators and swindlers, and rich and predatory moneylenders. In that dark crew of financial pirates, there are those who would cut a man's throat to get $1 out of his pocket. There are those who send money into states to buy votes to control our legislation. And there are those who maintain international propaganda for the purpose of deceiving us and of wheedling us into the granting of new concessions which will permit them to cover up their past misdeeds and set again in motion their gigantic train of crime. Those 12 private credit monopolies were deceitfully and disloyally foisted upon this country by bankers who came here from Europe and who repaid us for our hospitality by undermining our American institutions.
John F. Kennedy understood this, and he tried to muscle out the Federal Reserve Banks, and thus there was quite a logical reason for his assassination. He took major money-issuing power away from this banking cartel and gave it back to the people of the United States. Then he was killed. The Federal Reserve Banks immediately got what they desperately wanted after President Kennedy's assassination. They once again unilaterally controlled the issuing of U.S. currency. They once again had a business that pays them literally over $500 billion annually through the interest they charge to American taxpayers for issuing our currency.